Thank you for tuning in to day 7 of Ideagen's 17 Days of Sustainability, presented by Ideagen TV, powered by Azure, and presented globally by Microsoft. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcasts and are excited for the days to come. Today, you heard opening remarks from Microsoft's Vice President of AI and Sustainability Strategy, Gretchen O'Hara. Following our opening remarks, we jumped into a power chat with John Calamos, founder, chairman, and global chief investment officer of Calamos Investments.
So developing innovative investment strategies, one thing that has set Calamos apart from the pack is a willingness to seek out new ways to help clients achieve their investment goals. That started with our use of convertibles. We also were among the first to introduce liquid alt strategies. We've also been innovators in the closed-end fund space as well.
Following John Calamos' programming at 11 a.m., we watched as Paula Tavares, senior legal and gender specialist from the World Bank, joined us. Where did your inspiration and passion come from to work toward this focus on gender equality and the empowerment of women?
So I thought of that as well a while ago because I didn't necessarily study gender issues or women's issues. It is a common topic now, but it wasn't back then. So my focus was more human rights. But I did go into this work very passionately and looking at it from the perspective of, women's rights or human rights.
Following that incredible power chat, we had an interview between our good friend Jane Oates, president of Working Nation, together with Matt Siegelman, CEO of Burning Glass Technologies, at noon today.
Unfortunately, those who have been hit the hardest are those who are already furthest behind. And so I think we should acknowledge that. But it's important to understand the starting point. We were talking before about this notion of trying to leverage the idea of skill adjacencies, of retraining people not for some theoretical job, training people from scratch. I mean, you've spent so much of your life, of your career working in the workforce system, know that so many retraining programs fail because they're asking people to make too big a jump.
Following this incredible power chat was a power chat with Robert Rees, CEO and founder of the CEO Forum, as he spoke with myself at 1 p.m. today. Robert is known as the CEO Whisperer.
Now CEOs are thinking in what I'd call the third phase after, how do I keep my people safe? How do I keep my business going and surviving, like in the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Now they're all thinking about, how do I reinvent so that I'm stronger post-pandemic and I emerge with a better model that's adding more value for the long term?
After that incredibly inspiring power chat with Robert Rees, we brought on Shanice Legetti, CEO of Blue Flamingo and Digital Africa, together with Charlotte Keenan, head of corporate office engagement, international and global head of 10,000 women at Goldman Sachs. What are some of the biggest myths about being an entrepreneur? And how do you try to combat them?
I think some of the biggest myths have been busted, and that people say, "Oh, I want to work for myself." Actually, everybody ends up having a boss. My bosses are my team and my staff and my clients. I work harder as an entrepreneur than I ever did when I was employed. The other myth is that it's easy. You've mentioned that, George. It is not easy.
To close out the day, we had an incredible interview with M.R. Rangaswamy, founder of Indiaspora Forum, co-founder of the Sandhill Group, and founder at the Corporate Eco Forum, which aired today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern.
So that was my first stint, was running the Enterprise Retreat, which I ran at Pebble Beach for 10 years for the leaders in the tech industry. And over time, we gave away over $1.5 million to different nonprofits, and the members themselves who gave the money we're also able to advise them, mentor them, give them more money through their corporate philanthropy and so forth.
On Monday, September 28th, we will be joining the 8th day of the 17 days of sustainability. And we have an incredible day packed full of content surrounding Sustainable Development Goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Microsoft's Gretchen O'Hara will provide opening remarks and describe Goal 9. From there, at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll jump right into a fascinating power talk by Jane Addams, Vice President, Federal Government Affairs in Canada for Johnson & Johnson. After the power talk from Jane Addams, we move to a presentation with Camilla Bordacol, founder and CEO of Just a Squiggle, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Following that presentation, we have an interview with Bridget Gosselink, Head of Product Impact at Google.org, and CEO and founder, myself, George Safakis at Ideagen, at noon Eastern Time. Next on the schedule is a power chat with CCO Harley Tett and CEO Scott Lair from the Underground Group at 1 p.m. And lastly, to close out the day, we have an interview with CEO of Build-A-Bear, Sharon Price John, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'd like to take a moment to thank all of the participants, over 40 million people across the planet who have seen our content, engaged with Ideagen, and joined this ubiquitous distribution throughout all of our platforms across ideagenglobal.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, and so many other platforms across the planet to reach this incredibly inspiring content. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on what goal appeals to you and which insights you found most interesting. At Ideagen, we have hosted summits around the world for the past decade with global leaders and luminaries. We've heard their insights and how their organizations have made a huge impact on a global scale. Now you have the opportunity to join us and get an inside look at the journeys of these global leaders with our new Ideagen Masterclass. The Ideagen Masterclass provides viewers with an unprecedented and never before seen look into the lives and stories of the world's most influential leaders. You may be familiar with the accomplishments and successes of many of these leaders from their time spent on the global stage. But do you know how they arrived at where they are today, the challenges they faced, and the obstacles they overcame? Ideagen's Masterclass will provide you with a backstage pass to their life and journey, an up-close and personal look at global leaders and luminaries, including folks like Ambassador John Negroponte, the first director of national intelligence in the United States, Robert Rees, known as the CEO Whisperer and founder of the CEO Forum, Dr. Robert Brown, former advisor to Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela, plus many more. Be inspired as Ideagen interviews global leaders and luminaries on their impact, and join the masterclass to discover their journey to success. Visit our website, ideagenglobal.com, and follow the tab to our masterclass to get more information and subscribe today. Thank you, and thank you for all you're doing to change the world.